Let's talk about security in the cloud. People come to me and say, I'll never go to the cloud. I don't believe it's secure. I think that my manufacturing company is much better off having their IT systems on premise. I said, okay, that can be true in some cases. It's usually not. I'm going to take you on a walkthrough of the physical IT security that called me a couple of years ago and said, we're considering going to the cloud with some of our data and applications, Clay, but we don't think the cloud is secure enough, and we would like you to come in and do a security audit on our infrastructure and our IT security. A logical security audit and a physical security audit. I said, no problem. This municipality was protecting data for 150,000 residents, and they had almost 500 employees. They had 18 physical buildings, all with IT equipment in it. So I came to their headquarters, and this was the front door. And when I walked in the front door, I opened this door, which was unlocked. There's nobody greeting me. And then I walked up these stairs, and I got to this door, which was propped open. And I made a right-hand turn. I didn't even know where I was going. And there was a woman there, and she said, oh, what are you here for? I said, oh, I'm here to look at the IT system. She goes, okay, go that way through that door. I walked through this door that doesn't even have a lock on it. This was the entrance to the IT department. And then I walked into the data room. And there was the IT manager's coat on the coat rack holding the door open. And there are the IT systems, 7 or 8 servers. This was the physical security for a municipality with 150,000 residents and social security numbers and names and addresses and phone numbers sitting right there on the floor, and I walked right in the building. 500 employees, payroll information, sitting right there on the floor. 0 physical security. Unfortunately, this is the physical security for probably 70% of the people in the room. If I want your data, I'll simply kick the door in, take your server, and walk out at 1 o'clock in the morning. By the time the police get there, forget about it. So if I'm your competitor, and I really want your data, and your data's on premise, I know exactly where to go to get it. The average response time in my county for the police to respond to an alarm in a building is 22 to 30 minutes. Man, I'll walk out with your whole place. I'll bring a bunch of my friends. We'll probably make some coffee while we're there. And we'll take the servers and we'll run out the door with it. I mean, this is not... The reality is that most small to medium businesses, that 1 million to 20 million in revenue or 50 million in revenue, the IT security is protected by the lock on your front door and maybe a camera and an alarm on the building. That's about all you've got in respect to physical security. Not the best. You can compare that to the physical security in the cloud and what a cloud data center really looks like. Biometric readers, of course the cameras, registered guest lists, there's no way you're getting in the building. Rows of locked cages and cabinets. I mean, you just simply can't physically steal the data in a cloud environment. Physical security in the cloud, far superior than on-premise IT security, unless you have 20,000 employees and you have an amazing IT department. Listen, I have some customers that have data centers that are more sophisticated than this, but usually they're really enterprise-class organizations that have unlimited budgets for IT, right? That's how we're building a data center like this. But cloud security, cloud power, redundant power systems, redundant UPSs, rows and rows of generators. So the reality is, on-premise security does not compare, physical security does not compare to cloud security. Relocating data off premises is the best practice for eluding a targeted hacker, somebody that wants your data, somebody that knows you when you're a manufacturing company, maybe your competitor, and knows where your data is because they simply know where your building is. So we'll talk a little bit now about logical security in the cloud. This is the typical network business security design. At least for 90% of the people in the room. You have a firewall, And that's what protects you from hacking, right? Everybody relies on this box called the firewall, the almighty firewall. And you hope that your IT manager configured it the right way, and there's not open ports, and you're not open to the internet, and the guy knows what he's doing. So a lot of times they don't. Or a lot of times you have IT turnover, and one guy makes some configuration changes, and then the next IT manager comes in for 2 years, and he does his own thing, and then the next guy comes in, and before you know it, you've got stuff open to the internet that you didn't even know about. So this is this is what it looks like. And if you're lucky, besides the firewall, you've, of course, got antivirus on your PCs and servers. So you're completely safe from hacking. This is what a cloud provider's network security model looks like. It is a layered, way more in-depth security model. It'll start with the internet. You'll pass through an intrusion detection system. And the intrusion detection system is going to look for known hackers, and it's going to drop the incoming traffic. It's not going to let it even get anywhere near the firewall. Behind an intrusion detection system, some of the latest technology, what's going on at cloud providers, an intrusion prevention system. What's intrusion prevention? It actually lets the hacker in, makes the hacker think they're making progress, and gives them false information. And the hacker kind of comes in and then goes down this path, and then it develops a footprint about who that hacker is, gains more information on where they're coming from, and then shuts them down and will simply never let them in. So a much more sophisticated type of technology than just a firewall. And then, of course, at a cloud provider, you'll have multiple layers of firewalls, and that's really just going to be what ports are open to the internet, what are not. But we're doing the scanning of information way before you even get to the firewall. Then if you get inside the firewall and you're still a hacker and you got that far, there will be another intrusion protection system on the inside of the network that's doing the same thing, scanning for rogue traffic. Of course, you'll have antivirus in the cloud. You may have some encryption options. And what do you have? You have this 24/7 team of people getting alerts and monitoring this type of traffic, looking for hackers, manually shutting them down, or responding to alerts and known threats. Quite a bit more sophisticated than this model. Logical security at a qualified cloud provider should far exceed your on-premise IT security. And the cloud provider with the appropriate security practices will have a layered security model, much like the one that I showed you today. And you can ask your cloud provider, if you're considering software as a service, you can say, show me your logical security model. How are you protecting my data? How many layers of protection do you have before somebody can get to the inside of the network? And in a completely private cloud type service, the provider doesn't even need to have administrative access to your data. It's yours, you own it. It's protected by them, but hopefully they don't even have access to the data itself.